What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 49 of our Social Montbéliard Let's Play here in Football Manager 2018, and today it's mid-January and we're going to be taking on Nantes. Yes, you can see the league table here. We are still in second. We have a game in hand today which could see us, well, create a little bit of breathing room onto Nice, who are behind us, but it is very tight between ourselves, Monaco and Nice towards the top of the table. Unfortunately, as you can see here, PSG, they're kind of doing their own thing at the moment. Anyway, since we were last here, there has been a fair few games. Last time we were here, of course, it was the draw against Auxerre, the bottle. Yes, we threw away a 3-0 lead. Since then, an improvement of sorts, I guess. You can see, I'm not going to go through all the highlights of this game because, well, you'll see soon. We're in January. Transfers have been happening, folks. Yes, we've been busy. But we started off with a game against PSG. 3-1 this finished. It was in the cup. Good little result. They did rotate their team a little bit. We made the most of that. We looked pretty good at home, all things considering. It was perhaps a little bit of a smash and grab. But, well, we took the goals that came our way. An own goal and a penalty helped us along before Kubik scored in the 52nd minute. And, well, we moved on in the Coupe de la Ligue. The next two games we had against Amiens and Toulouse, two good little results, these ones. The first one, a 4-1 win. You can see Almeida and Ducasse with goals, and own goal as well, helped us on our way. We were already 3 goals up when they got a goal back. And, well, fortunately for us, we didn't do what we did against Auxerre. We clung on to the lead, and in the end, 4-1 it finished. And, well, moving on from that into the next game, another win. You know, after a little bit of a rough spell, you know, with that defeat against Nice and a draw as well against Auxerre, it was nice to get some good results. And we got another one here at home against Toulouse. Top performance, dominated the game, 65% of possession. They didn't have a shot, as you can see here. Rennie Adelaide with a goal, and Gregory Chevalier also bagging one. So, yeah, a good little kind of back-to-back win here in the league. We'd been a bit kind of off the pace. Of course, we did have a little bit of a break following this game against Toulouse. You can see all the way through until the start of well, the year, you can see 2022 we're now in, where we took on GF38 in the French Cup, won this one 3-1, kind of to be expected. Of course, they are a team in the division below us, but nevertheless, you've got to beat the teams put out in front of you, and that's exactly what we did. Moving on from that, we took on Marseille, where, well, it was heartbreak, really. 1-1 it finished in the Coupe de la Ligue, you know, knocking out PSG previously. I was hoping we were going to keep going, but unfortunately, we couldn't. You can see here in this game, Chevalier sent off. We got a goal despite being a man down. Made it 1-1, but then in the shootout you can see just one penalty missed, and it was by Felix, and well, it made me a little bit sad. It's always a bit unfortunate when it goes to sudden death when you're relying on the centre-backs for the penalties, and unfortunately Udokai, he just couldn't hold his nerve. And following on from that, another really disappointing result, this time against Lille, a game that I felt like we deserved to win, but well, there were lots of goals early on. You can see here, it was 2-2 within the first 15 minutes of the game. They got a goal, we got a goal, they got a goal, we got a goal. It was a real ding-dong battle. Unfortunately, you can see here, Conte grabbed a goal for them in the 77th minute to guarantee them the win and, well, take them away with all the spoils, which was a little upsetting, to be honest. You know, we dominated possession. I felt like we perhaps were the better team. I don't feel like we deserved to lose this one, but unfortunately for us, we didn't show up. And well, in our most recent game, we took on Angers, as you can see, 4 days ago. Played them in League 1. We won 5-2. A good little performance. You can see here, Millet with a hat-trick, Ducasse with a brace. Very, very good attacking performance. And it's going to be a very similar team to this that we fielded today. And well, you might notice a new name in the starting 11 in the defensive area of the pitch. And well, on that, shall we talk about transfers, really? Because you might have noticed I have rushed through those fixtures just a little bit because we have to talk about the transfers, and we'll start, I guess, with the outs. Now, you can see we've been busy. We have made 3 sales this transfer window. The first one we sold was Assumption Mohammed. Now, I've sold him for £5 million to Club Bruges. You can see here our scout summary on him, now that he's left the club, is only a score of 46, which makes me feel really good about the money we've received for him. He's 18 years old, good little player. He's improved quite a lot, but our kind of assistants never really rated him, and given the real kind of sheer amount of talent we have in the first team in the striker position, it was very unlikely he was ever going to play for us. He is considered inconsistent as well. With Agude breaking into the first team, I don't see Mohamed having a spot for us, and to receive £5 million for a player who never played in the first team is very good. You know, we've sold him whilst he's still considered kind of a young prospect. You can see he's certainly not a bad player by any means, but his limited potential, despite his good current ability, meant I was happy to take £5 million. Anyway, the next 2 sales, 2 big ones, and 2 players who I think I may have mentioned, I certainly feel like I have, but players who wanted to leave over the summer. They were very unhappy. And these were our backup fullbacks, the younger players who I talked about a few episodes ago. The fact I was a little bit kind of worried that they weren't ever going to reach their potential. I didn't feel like they were that great. Now, the first player here, Vlad, you can see, 3.5-star potential, maximum 2.5-star, for sure, and being inconsistent. He's a good fullback, don't get me wrong. He looks fantastic, but I don't know how much he's going to improve. Southampton have given us £14 million all up front for him. I think that's a great bit of business. Again, selling a player who's still young, who my assistant at least thinks has reached his potential. Other scouts from other clubs maybe don't think he's reached his potential and just see his current ability and think he's great. And on top of that, with this deal, it does have a 50% profit sell-on clause. So not only is that £14 million outright, we are going to benefit long term. And another player with a similar deal to that is Gregory Hubert. Now, he has gone to Dortmund. He was perhaps the player who I thought was the best of our young fullbacks. We kind of had a little trio going. Of course, we had Vlad, who we sold. We had Hubert. And the other player we had, if we just dig him up right here, Gautier, is the one I've decided to keep hold of because, at least in the eyes of my assistant, in terms of potential, he's the one who is potentially going to be better. You can see there's not a massive difference between these guys, really. And if we look at the reports, you can see here, Gregory Hubert, 4-star potential. 4-star potential for Gautier as well. Gautier, though, more consistent. You can see consistency always going to be a problem for Gregory Hubert. And, to sell Greg for the price that we did, I just think he's great. £17 million. He also has a 50% profit sell-on clause. So if they sell him for more than £17 million down the line, we will benefit from it, which is great. And obviously, the fact it's £17 million is good money. Now, that deal, or rather this deal, unlike the Southampton deal, is £10 million up front and then £7 million over the next 12 months. But nevertheless, obviously, that kind of money did open up the opportunity to reinvest. And while we've brought in 3 players so far this January, 2 of them we already talked about. The first one, Christian Boldan, a player we agreed to sign last year. Looks like a really, really good prospect. We've signed him for a really modest fee, £2.6 million from Vélez, already appearing in the first team. Really excited to see what this guy can achieve. Professional personality, regular international for the Argentina national side. Looks like he could be a very, very good player. Another player we've got here, Quito, 18 years old. Bit of a punt, this guy perhaps, but he looks very good. Technically gifted. Physicals are pretty solid as well. Only 18 years old. A player who's going to really benefit. And the last player we've brought in thus far is the player who I kind of talked about the fact we'd played him already. And yes, we spent £10.5 million on a centre-back. And the centre-back here is Dan XL Zagadou. Now, this guy, he doesn't look fantastic outright, I'm going to be honest. He could be better defensively, but he's a very, very kind of good ball-playing defender. We brought him in for £10.5 million. You can see he's played 1 game for us where he did get an assist. If we compare him to Diarra, who I think it'd be fair to say is nailed down a first-team spot in the team, there's not a massive difference between these guys. In my scout report, Zagadou was flagged as having good consistency in important matches, something that I guess my current coach hasn't recognised in him just yet. I don't know if anyone will have, because he's only just joined us recently. It'd be good if you could assign your scout to compare the 2 players. But anyway, it doesn't really matter that much. Either way, we've brought him in. £10.5 million is a lot of money, but you can see here, looking at him, he's a very good player technically. He's extremely good in the air. He's 22 years old. I know he has good potential in Football Manager this year because I've seen it in various saves that I've done in my own time. Physicals are superb. He's going to be a really good permanent third-choice centre-back, at least at the moment. That's kind of where I see him fitting in, behind the likes of Diarra and Felix. Of course, during the kind of summer, we did bring in 2 players in on loan. We brought in Perez from PSG, who probably is our best centre-back, but I'm more concerned with the players who we actually own. But we've got him in on loan until the end of next season if we want him to. The other player we've got, of course, is Reece Oxford. And I feel like if you compare Reece Oxford to Zagadou, you can kind of see the difference in them here. Oxford perhaps a little bit more solid defensively, but Zagadou, he's adding to our French contingent that we've got in our side. Obviously, his report, as I said, was very, very positive for him. And I feel like at £10.5 million, whilst it's not a tiny sum of money, for a really hot, young French talent to add to our kind of French side, which is something that I do feel like is quite important here, that we maintain a French core. I'm quite excited to see what he can do. And, well, with those sales, you might have noticed we've made £63 million in sales. And, well, just this January, we've made close to £40 million of that. And it does mean that our transfer fees and our transfer budget, you can see here, we've got £12 million to play with, as well as some wage budget that we can certainly kind of jiggle around. We've got money to spend still. So I'm still kind of looking at a few players to maybe bring in over this January. In terms of where I'd like to strengthen up, it might be another centre-back. I don't think it would be, to be honest. I think a left-back would be quite good if we could find an alternate to Ben Chilwell. It's certainly the position that I have been looking at. If we take a quick look here, French left-backs and also maybe a backup to Chevalier have been the two things I've really been looking at. In terms of French left-backs, there are a few here, obviously. Some are more realistic than others. I'm kind of surprised at the fact that some of these are listed as possible signings. But you can see here, so of the players we've scouted who I'm kind of looking at, we've got players like Czech Kieta here, who probably isn't quite good enough, unfortunately. We've got this guy, Mayosa. I butchered his name. We'll just call you Fatu. That's easier, isn't it? But he looks okay, maybe from Everton. Obviously, the issue is that in modern footballing terms, £12 million doesn't actually get you that much. You know, you can maybe get a really good young player for that. But, well, because I want to continue looking at bringing in French players, it does limit the players we can kind of approach quite significantly. So, yeah, we'll have a look around. It might be a French centre left back. As I said, another position I am looking at potentially improving is the centre defensive mid position, just because I do feel like we are a little lacking in that department in terms of a player like Chevalier. Of course, Fuchs and Blonde can also play there. We have Tom Davies, who really is the cover player at the moment in this position, but I'd like to get a more permanent solution, you know, rather than relying on the loan signings that we made over the summer. I'd be interested to know what you think of the sales of Vlad and Hubert. Honestly, I didn't expect to get the kind of money we got for them. They were two players who were unhappy because they were wanted by some big clubs. As I mentioned previously, my assistant manager was kind of feeling a little bit out of favour with them. They weren't improving as much as I wanted them to be honest. And, well, having seen their scout summaries now that they've left, I feel really good about the sales. Yes, it's disappointing to lose 2 French under-21 internationals, but at least in the eyes of my scout, and at least from what I can deduce, I just don't think they're going to be good enough to play Champions League football. Anyway, in terms of our squad for today's game, Thiago Almada is the only player out. He has a concussion. As a result, we're going to bring Trincao out wide and drop Rennie Adelaide into the advanced playmaker role. And yeah, this is the team we're going to go with. It's going to be West in goal. Again, still rotating him and Lafont. At left back, we go with Chilwell, who, as I said, maybe a player we'll look to replace if the right left back option is out there. Felix Udokai and Diarra play centre back. Currently switch them to the ball playing defender roles. We'll see how long I stay with that. It's kind of a bit of an experiment, really. Chevalier, of course, going to be shielding them in the defensive midfielder position. Right back we go with Jean-Do Fuchs, who is continuing to have perhaps his best season ever. A 7.24 average rating in the league really is impressive. Of course, Blonde playing ahead of him. Talked about Trincao and Rennie Adelaide. And for today's game, we're actually going to go with Ducasse and Millet up top. You can see Ducasse continuing to improve. And actually, this is something worth mentioning, is the fact that if we just look at our players, you can see here, Kubik only listed now as having 4.5-star potential, whereas Ducasse still has 5-star. So, at least in the eyes of our assistant, Ducasse and even Millet to an extent could still improve quite significantly. So, yeah, at least for now, I feel like these are the two players we're going to back as our front two. You can see we're going to have them playing alongside each other with Kubik on the bench. Anyway, let's submit our team for today's game. Danny Agude, who of course made a little bit of a cameo last time out, he is available for us on the bench. But generally speaking, I'm hoping that we can continue our good form. You know, we found a little bit of stability. We had a fair few injuries to deal with. I feel like the injury to Rennie Adelaide over the last few months definitely kind of was detrimental to our season. Obviously, I'm hoping that, well, that as we go on here, we are going to continue to improve and really start to gel. I'd still like to bring in a left-back, as I said. Preferably a French one as well would be nice, because I have seen the comments that people have left about the fact, you know, we have got quite a few foreign younger players. I'd love to continue to add French players. The real drama and issue is that you have to pay quite a lot of money for that French talent. It is hotly contested. And I'd like to think that at least in the transfers that we've done, you know, over the last few seasons, we have still shown an allegiance to French players, but it is something that we want to maintain here. Anyway, it's actually Nantes who early on are applying the pressure. They had the first real chance of the game. Sunday West bailing us out, of course. The Nigerian international in goal ahead of Lafont. Kind of an ongoing saga, the rotation there, as Rennie Adelaide hits the woodwork. Probably didn't need to hit it as hard as he did. He smashed it hard down the middle. The keeper didn't really react in time, but unfortunately, the woodwork denied us. And, well, you can see it's Ducasse injured. That is not what we want to see. A knee injury as well. That could be bad. That could be really bad. Of course, Ducasse last season missed a lot of action due to injury, and he's been superb for us this year. Signed a new contract alongside Millet just a few months ago. And, well, hopefully that is nothing too serious. Hopefully it's, you know, a little twisted knee, something minor. You know, knee injuries are never great in Football Manager normally. I'd happily take like a twisted knee with 2 or 3 weeks out over, like, you know, something really serious ligament-wise with his knee. I mean, we'll have to hold our breath there, I guess. The one thing that we do have going for us is the fact that the striker position is perhaps the area where we do have the most strength in depth, but that's not exactly a consolation when your star player's clutching his knee on a stretcher. But well, Trincao beating his man here, whips it into Millet, and what a header that is. Lovely assist by Trincao as well, a player who has kind of fallen out of favour with us a little bit this kind of season so far. I guess that's more down to Rainy Adelaide just performing so well, of course. He broke into the French national team just a few months ago prior to his injury. But, well, given a chance today, Millet wins it in the air nicely. And, well, a great little header into that top corner. Keeper, absolutely no chance there. And hopefully we can keep this going. We could get another before half-time. 3 minutes of added time with the team on the offensive. Trincao to Millet. Can he pull it back? He does to Kubik. Going to be a narrow angle. Going to have to try and get the cross in. He does. Only to the edge of the area. And actually, it could be a counter-attack being launched here by Nantes, who are not a bad team. I didn't really talk about them. They are 6th in the league. And, well, Sunday West. Another hero save for us. 2 clear-cut chances they've had. Twice the Nigerian man between the sticks has prevented them from getting it in. And well, can we defend this corner now? To the edge of the box, get the tackle in, get it away. No nonsense here, please. Tawafa hits it, deflected out for a corner. Can we just end the highlight here? I want to get into half-time. I'll take 1-0 at this point. But, well, we've got to deal with this. 1 minute left of the game, or of the half, rather. And, well, we're going to head it away, but only as far as the edge of the area. Ball whipped back in. Chilwell kind of deals with it. And, well, going to be a free kick to us. And I believe that is going to be half-time right there. So 1-0 at the break. Going to tell the players I'm not happy. Not happy. Fuchs looks a little bit stressed. Let's just chat to him on his own. There's no pressure on you today. He's still stressed. Bless him. I didn't talk about it earlier, but obviously this is episode 49. We are almost up to the 50 mark. For episode 50, we are going to do something special, I think, in terms of probably 3 matches live. I might cut out the bits of fluff in between, but you may have noticed looking at the fixture screen, we got our Champions League draw. It's against Manchester United, so I feel like that would be a good team to do for episode 50, the game against United. It might be that we do both legs of the Champions League. We'll consult the fixture sheet after this game to see exactly what our plans are, but well, can we get another goal here? Make it comfortable. Benny Chilwell, this time Millet can't win the header. It's cleared away, but only as far as Rainy Adelaide, so maybe we can build from the back once more. Trincao, options on the overlap, tries to get the ball in. It's blocked away. Maybe they're going to try and hit us on the counter now. Can we pen them in this corner? Certainly what we're going to try and do. Unfortunately, they kind of work their way out of a tight situation here, Nantes. Now they're going to bring the ball forward. Chevalier, crunching tackle. Pele bringing the ball forward. Hits it. Wide of the mark. A little bit of a let-off for us there. Chevalier on a booking. It's a little bit concerning. I talked about the fact he did get sent off against Marseille in the Coupe de la Ligue quarter-final, which was disappointing. If we can get another goal, I'd be inclined to take him off, despite the fact that we don't really have a ready-made replacement for him. We don't have, a really good defensive midfielder. I guess what you could argue we could do is move Felix Udekai into that role and then bring in Zagadou. I think we might actually do that just to be safe. This could backfire, but I really don't want to go a man down here. And Chevalier, I want to trust him, but after getting sent off not that long ago, it is kind of in the back of my mind that maybe we should just play it safe. I think this is a new position as well for Udekai to play for us, but again, it's just a nice kind of side effect of the fact that we now have another centre-back. We can just play, Udekai in this more defensive midfielder role for us. And, well, there's going to be a little bit of pressure on our new kid on the block, Zagadou here. You can see him, obviously, making his live com debut. Got an assist on his initial league debut for us and got an 8.2 rating. Don't think he'll be able to match that on off the bench today, but we'll see what he can do as we're on the attack. Millet dispossessed, but Fuchs going to recycle possession here. Now with Rainy Adelaide. Goes wide to Trincao. Chilwell on the overlap, might not need him, gets the ball in, Millet one touch hits it and tucks it away into the bottom corner. It's another assist for Trincao, it's another goal for Millet. It's almost a repeat of the last goal in terms of the link-up play between the two players there. Nice little finish as well by Millet in the end. I think the keeper might have been caught offside, it kind of just crept its way into the back of the net. Trincao, not the easiest position to get in a ball, but well, Millet with some nice composure and then tucking the ball away on his left peg to the back of the net. 2-0 here. Not long left in this game, really. I think we'll make some changes. And Rainy Adelaide struggling a little bit for fitness. We'll bring in Cleedson for him. I was about to say I also want to take off Blonde. But, of course, we've used all our subs now because of that Ducasse injury earlier. So we'll make our last change. Fingers crossed, touch wood. We don't get a sending off. We don't get an injury now to just really throw a spanner in the works for what's left of this game. As we are on the offensive again. I mean, if we could get to 3-0... I wouldn't say we're safe, but I'd start to relax. Of course, after the game against Auxerre last episode, 3-0 is definitely not a safe result as far as I'm concerned. We need to be relentless. We need to be ruthless. We need to, keep going until the final whistle goes, really, despite the scoreline. As Claydson gets a nice little finish in. Clayston there. I think it's Clay. How would you say his name? Claydson? I don't. Answers on a postcard. Let me know. Let me write a postcard in. One day I will actually get a PO box set up for postbox. For postcards and stuff. But until that day, just let me know in the comments. Lovely finish though. Tucks it away on his right peg. The Brazilian tucking it into that bottom corner very snugly. And he says to the keeper, good night, as the keeper is left lying down on the floor, wishing that he could have reacted that little bit sooner. But anyway, 3-0 up here. I feel like we can almost relax. We're almost there. I mean, if we concede now with 7 minutes left, given our track record, it might become squeaky bum time. Hopefully we can keep the clean sheet here. But, we could be in trouble. Bit positioning all over the place. They knock the ball around well. And we do concede. I feel like Sunday West is going to feel like that was a little bit of a soft one to concede. You thought for a second maybe we were going to keep a clean sheet. Maybe miracles were going to happen. But unfortunately, not the case. The ball here crossed in nicely by Marquinhos, who I thought might shoot. The header was a little bit gentle. Maybe Sunday West could have done better. The marking definitely wasn't the best in the centre of the pitch. Maybe a side effect of losing Chevalier. But I don't think it's going to matter today, fortunately. 4 minutes left. There is another highlight, but it'd take a bit of a miracle for them to get 2 goals in the last 4 minutes. And, we are the team on the attack here. Claydson trying to get it forward to Kubik, who, isn't there to win it. Although that lucky bounce, we'll see it come his way. Millet going to be looking for the hat-trick. Takes it round his man. Tucks it into the bottom corner. Who is Ducasse? Dimitri Millet. What a player. Obviously, we gave him a new contract recently, and that is exactly why. The 21-year-old Frenchman tucking it away into the bottom corner. An element of fortune, I guess, about that ricochet, but you'll take it. Millet passed to by Kubik, and, he just slots it away into that bottom corner. 4-1 it is. And, you'd have to say now we are in cruise control. And, maybe, we can start to relax here. We can start to have a party, although, they can't score 3. They can't. I refuse to believe it. So this is going to be a good result for us. As I mentioned going into this episode, we were 1 point ahead of Nice with a game in hand. So this will see us reinstate our 4-point kind of margin ahead of them towards the top of the table. Unfortunately, with some of the slip-ups we've had lately, PSG have just run away with the league title. I don't think it's going to be possible to catch them. It would be a monumental screw-up by them to let us in now. But, we're just going to keep playing our game, keep doing our thing, and we'll hopefully keep scoring as Blonde. You thought for a second he was going to smash it into the top corner. Unfortunately, could only find the fan on row Z there as he smashes it wide. But, it's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things. 4-1 here. We're just waiting for the referee's final whistle. It's going to come any second. Take a bow, players. That is exactly what we needed. A good little performance. Particularly after the last live com as well, and going into the games we've got coming up in our next live com against Manchester United for episode 50. This is a very, very big result, and I'm very, very happy about that. 4-1 is how it finishes. Boys, I am very happy with the way you played there. That is exactly what we needed against the team 6th in the league to win 4-1 at home. Emphatic. Unfortunately, you can see here it is a ligament injury. 6 to 7 weeks without Ducasse. That is a concern and a half. Where does 6 to 7 weeks take us? It kind of takes us into March. He might get back for the game against Manchester United, but that might be a little ambitious, really, which is, somewhat of a concern. Anyway, in terms of next episode, what we're going to do, looking at these games, we've got a few bigger games. I think what we'll do is we'll do the games against Monaco, Manchester United and PSG, and then save the second leg of the Manchester United game. We may even bundle that in with that Nice match, because really, those 5 games which I've just mentioned, they're going to be the big 5 for us in terms of really settling how our season goes, I feel like. So, yeah, hopefully I see you guys in them. Of course, we are still going in the French Cup as well, so fingers crossed we can keep running well there. And, fingers crossed, I see you guys next episode for episode 50. It's going to be a big one, as I said, triple header, Monaco, Manchester United, PSG. Don't miss it. I'll see you there. It is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.